fire at a sawmill in Deep East Texas could continue to smolder until next week. The fire started last night on Welch Street in Kennard. It's not known exactly how the fire started, but officials believe it could have been an electric pole accident. Officials say the fire is now contained, but damage was done.
Mainly some machinery. That shed up there on the other side of that mobile home has got all of their saws and stuff and machineries that they move it with. He lost one of those.
Officials say there was no structural damage and surrounding homes have not been affected.